welcome. I feel like it's been a really long time since you just had like a little sit down chat, so I thought we'd do that today. My watch is going off. What? Oh, I've done my minutes for the week. That's nice, thank you. So I asked for some questions over on Instagram and YouTube. Sorry, TikTok. And thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I asked for to do with UGC, but if you've got any general ones, I'm happy to answer that too. So let's get straight into it. I'm going to start with the YouTube ones. So any general life advice when you're feeling stuck in a rut career-wise, not sure what to do next, and finding friends in your 20s. Great questions. This is weirdly enough very appropriate for what I feel like I'm going through at the moment. It can be hard on social media sometimes when everything just seems so positive and everyone's just succeeding and doing so well, and it's so lovely to see and it can be so motivating, but it's kind of hard. Like, obviously you're not going to post all the bad things that happen. I find that in these vlogs, these are supposed to be like uplifting vlogs, like keep me motivated, but it's just me being like struggling and I'm really sorry. The advice I've given myself is that I gave myself a day off. Even if that's just a weekend day, like whatever. And that was sort of like a life admin day. I just got through some planning, planned out what I wanted to achieve, like planned out a structured plan to get me to some of my goals. And the annoying thing I found is a lot of my goals are quite attainable, which is only annoying because it's purely my fault that I'm not reaching these goals. Like, it's completely down to me. I think it's so important to just do something you love, and I know it's often easier said than done. When I left my job, I was not in a position to be leaving a full-time job to do this freelance, and I'm still feeling the repercussions of that now, and this has been by no means easy. I am by no means, I'm not even living comfortably or anything, but I'm doing what I love, which is the priority for me above anything else. But people have families and stuff. I'm just me, so it's just me to look after. So I get that not everyone is in that position, but maybe just like reflect on what it is career-wise that you're not enjoying. Is it that you don't enjoy the job itself, or you wish to progress a bit more in your career? I think you just need to take some time to reflect. I think more than anything, give yourself that time to really fully go through all the details. Maybe speak to someone else about it. Honestly, ChatGPT is quite helpful. They can help you either plan a day in your dream life and you can see how that aligns with the life that you're living now and kind of helps you set out some goals and stuff, or it'll just give you some advice on like even how to process the feelings that you're feeling, and have a look at some people who have maybe been in your position and see what their next step was. That doesn't have to be your next step, but I think it can be good to like take inspiration from other people around us. Don't see them as competitors, see them as purely inspiration. Again, remember that they typically show the best bits of the day as well. Finding friends. I tend to stick to myself quite a lot, and I have a few friends I've had all my life that are like my go-to people, but recently in the UGC community, oh my goodness me, I love all of the girls so much. Like, I imagine I could go for coffee with any one of them and we'd just have the best time. Like, I think find people with a shared common interest and that's your go-to point. Honestly, even on Twitter, like I have so many friends on Twitter from a shared common interest that we have. If you're one of them, hello. And they're so supportive of what I do. I think it also would depend on your job and stuff. Sometimes if you do something that people find this strange, I get that. That's completely fine. But this is my chosen job, so if you can't be on board with that, I'm not saying you have to be in videos or anything crazy. Just don't judge me for it. I think I've had some troubles with that with friends over time, and I really do. I like being. It just feels safer to be by myself, I think, is my logic. But I get that isn't the healthy approach. So just talk to people with a similar interest. Try and find people that way. I know there's like dating apps have like a section for finding friends. I've personally not done that. Networking events are a good one, depending on if you want to like work related friends, or people do like sip and something, I don't know, like wine nights, but people go on their own to these things and make friends there. So I think there's so many ways, and never feel ashamed for doing any of this kind of stuff. I think it's like, why is that any different than going on a dating app to find dates and stuff, like, or going to bars to try and meet people? Like, friends are so important. I'm curious if you consider doing more house decorating content. I think I remember you said you bought a house in your 20s, so anything home related would be fun to see. I'm awful for starting a task and then never finishing it. If you could see, I think actually maybe you can see, that's a blue wall from when I first moved in. White wall, half painted white wall. I can't commit to anything to save my life, and it drives me insane. So maybe house content would be good because it would give me a reason to actually get through these things instead of just starting something and then leaving it. I get these bursts of energy to like change everything, and then I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have even started that, because no. So maybe. Additionally, have you ever considered joining Project Pan community for makeup? Those videos are always fun to watch regular updates of. That is such a great idea. A lot of creators I watch do Project Pan, and I love that as an idea, and I think I love the slight cheat that you've got that they obviously get sent PR and stuff like that. I don't get sent a lot of PR, but things I get would keep me topped up. I love that idea. I typically save makeup until I'm really at the very end anyway, but I would love that. I don't spend a lot of money on makeup as someone who like absolutely loves makeup, but I really do. But I think it would be good, especially even things like hair and body related stuff. I would love to do it with all of my kind of beauty stuff. This is such a good question. Do you have any unusual goals you're working towards this year? What a good question. Do I have any unusual? I must do, because unusual goals. Oh, I don't know if this class is unusual, but so as I may have mentioned before, I ever since I was 10, 11, I've watched Dan and Phil on YouTube, and part of the reason I do this because I was very inspired by them growing up. But they obviously work with brands because they're content creators, and I would just love to work with some of the brands that they work with. That would be such a milestone to me, because obviously I think very highly of them as creators, so to be on in some way the same level. I've worked with a couple of people they work with, and that was crazy to me, and people were like, why are you so excited about these? I'm like, you don't understand, this means so much to me. I actually had a call with someone once, and they had like a list of brands that they worked with, and I was like, oh my goodness, I really want to work with that one. And it was like for an app that people, they had like Rare Beauty and stuff on this slideshow, and I was like, well, I want to work with that one, and they were like, why? I was like, listen, I love working with apps and tech, so that's definitely a goal. I can't wait, hopefully. Ooh, I don't think you're gonna like this. Are you a dog or a cat person? I'm not really an animal person. I'd have to be a dog person if I was going to be either, though I look after my cousin's cats sometimes, and they're fine. I'm allergic to cats. I think I'm allergic to dogs, but mainly cats. I've not got that, like, I think I'm missing something. I guess, like, you know, the way like a mother has this maternal instinct. I don't have whatever that is towards animals. I just see nothing. I mean, I hope for the best. I'd like them to stay safe and everything. And I'm a vegetarian, I suppose, so it adds to it. But I care for their well-being, but I just don't have that, like, when people see a dog go past and they're like, oh, I don't feel anything. I don't know what that's about. I'm very ashamed of it, so I can't even believe I admitted that. So what are some things you wish you knew before starting? Not to like quote the new Spider-Man film, but I think disappointment. That's not really a quote, is it? But like, my expectations are low now, because every time not every time, but I often get jobs and we'll discuss things, I've had contracts signed, and then somehow they still fall through, and it's just so disappointing, and I like fall for it every time. It's not even like it's like a scam or anything. People just have different directions they have to go in, or they have different budget problem or whatever. There's so many reasons, but I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be good this month because I've had all these jobs like confirmed, and then they all leave, or like half of them drop out, and it's like I'm scrambling again. So I think there's that. I also kind of wish, I'm glad I left my job when I did, but I just bought a house and went straight into this with nothing behind me. Crazy. Are you joking? Because I just spent all my money on the house. I had nothing to my name, so that was a little bit silly. I would suggest not doing that, and maybe try and save up first before jumping into something like this. Obviously. Know your worth is such a big thing that people say, but I completely understand doing gifted campaigns when you really want the product, one, or if like you're just starting out and you want to build your portfolio, all that kind of stuff. I completely get that, but I think when you start charging, we can't be accepting these like really low ball offers like that. It's not your fault if you do that, because I understand why you do it, and I also understand that this really low offer could pay for your like water bill for the month, and I think it's easy to say, oh, don't take that, but sometimes you need it sometimes. Like I've been there. But if we can set the standard across the board that this is how much we charge for video, then it'll bring the rates up for everyone, for you starting out or for you much higher up. Like, I just think that needs to be done, but again, easier said than done. Ooh, what product do you use to get your hair colour? I really want to know that. Thank you so much. Yay. So I worked with Revlon on they have these like colour little things. I'll insert a picture. They're amazing. I keep reusing them. I got like a brown colour, and then like which has like a purpley undertone, and then like a more red purple undertone, and together is what I use to get this. And I probably top it up like once every 2 weeks, and then I just do some different things for my roots because I'm naturally quite blonde. So, but I'm so happy I did this. I was blonde for so many years, like that kind of basic. That's so rude, but I mean it with love. I loved it at the time. Like the Molly May kind of blonde. I love Molly May as well, so it's basic sounds so rude. Basic just means popular. People have taken it to like mean or horrible. Anyway, so then to go to this, which is so me, like I can't explain it. Like it just feels like me. One thing I've always struggled with is like my identity in terms of like deep down inside, I am still this kind of like alternative emo-y girl that I was when I was younger. But my appearance never really reflected that. I was always like, appearance-wise, trying to fit in with like more aesthetic thing. I didn't look aesthetic when I was younger at all. But like in recent years with the blonde and everything, I was just trying to fit in with all of that. Whereas deep down, this is me, I think. Where to start with tax? Oh God, what a question. I am obviously not qualified to discuss this, but I'm gonna give you some thoughts. I love bookkeeping, personally. I love keeping on top of my taxes. I've made a spreadsheet where I put in my like all my income and everything, tells me my profit, and it also tells me my estimated amount of tax for the year. I love all that stuff. I think watch some videos and do some research into it. I do think it's something you can do yourself, especially starting out, but it is confusing, and please be careful if you are employed and go self-employed. If your employer says that they are doing the tax side of things for you, double check this, because they might be lying and you might end up owing a lot of money. So thanks for that. But yeah, please just like do some research, look at the things that you can deduct from it. I can try and do a video on this in more detail, but I will double check my facts before I tell you anything that is not true. There's a really great creator on TikTok I see that comes up. I put her somewhere here. She is great. She seems to know what she's doing. Last 2 questions. Favorite brand you've worked with so far? Ooh, I'm gonna say probably Spotify, because I obviously love music. I'm human. I have a music degree, and I think that was such an honour. Like, oh my goodness. I'm gonna give you 3 brands. Second, Hugo Boss, because I love Hugo Boss. So that's the scent I wear every day is the Scent for Her by Hugo Boss. So to crazy. I can't even believe that. And anything to do with Grace Beverley. I've worked with Shreddy and the Productivity Method, her app and her book, like journal. I love her. I was listening to a podcast of hers yesterday. She did a music degree as well, which in my head was like, okay, so I'm going to be successful. Like, maybe that's it. Like, I believe in myself now. Oh, and very similar, what is your dream brand to work with? As mentioned earlier in my unusual goal thing, I'd love to work based on the YouTubers with NordVPN, because I love NordVPN. I literally use it every day, so it makes sense to work with them. I'm genuinely very passionate about it. So we actually had an interaction on Twitter this morning, not to brag, and I literally, like, you'd think, I'm actually giggling now, you'd think I'd spoken to a celebrity. I was so excited. I still am excited. That would be so cool. So work with someone like Rare Beauty would be good. Maybe like Ninja, like Shark, that kind of, those people. I'd love to use the hair tool from there. That'd be amazing. I would love a coffee machine from someone. I love my coffee machine, but I'd love like a proper big barista with buttons and everything. I'd love to work with anything coffee. Okay, this is perfect timing. I actually have a meeting in 4 minutes, so I'm gonna go and do that. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so excited to be back here regularly. I say this is my 2nd video. I am working on a weekly vlog at the moment though, so that kind of implies that I am going to keep turning up. And thank you so much, by the way. I got some lovely comments and private messages and stuff from my last vlog where I was in a bit of a weird place. I'm going to be more positive. Actually, I think did I cry? I'm not going to keep that in, but it's going to be positive. I promise. It's going to end up positive by the end of it. Okay, thank you so much. Love you. Bye.